Are you losing muscle instead of fat? Stick around for a while. You might learn something. I'm Gordon with Unlock Your Bioenergy. Today is Thursday, December 18th, 2025. And that subject, losing muscle instead of fat. Why do I want to talk about it? Because I'm experiencing some changes that are shedding some light as far as answering that question. The reason being, most people think being in a caloric deficit always means burning fat. But if you push things the wrong way, your body can actually break down muscle for fuel, which is true. Because if you know anything about the piece of the pie, I guess, when it comes to muscle, if there's a higher percentage of omega-3 in muscle fibers, then it is known that the muscle fiber becomes less of a source of energy for supporting cardiovascular workouts, for example. So, and because of this, your body can actually break down the muscle for fuel because it converts it like this very fast. And there are some red flags to watch out for. Constant fatigue, says here. Low energy even with enough sleep. Loss of strength. Lifts that used to feel easy now feel heavy. That would be a first sign. But I wouldn't think that it's generally just protein. And hear me out on that. Feeling flat. Muscles look smaller and less defined. Well, yeah, because your body needs to have a combination of things in order for it to sustain muscle mass. It's no different than putting gasoline into your vehicle. You know, in order for the tank to be full, you got to fill it. So, what about the human body? Does it work in a similar fashion? Slower recovery. Soreness lingers longer than usual. Is that in protein? Or is that something else? Or a combination of different things? Sudden weight drop. Rapid loss that isn't matched with fat loss. Well, that would be the first indicator that your body's using muscle for energy. Because if the energy that's stored in your body is not a good form of energy, well then what are you putting inside your body? Weaker performance, endurance, speed, and output declines. Well, that's an interesting thing too. Frequent hunger and cravings. Your body's craving or screaming for fuel. And that again is an interesting thing too. So depending on what you're choosing to fuel your body with, can it influence how much you crave things? You can. So there is such a thing as quality, right? So it says here how to fix it. Just general Cole's notes types things. Eat enough protein, 1.8 to 2.2 grams per kilogram of body weight. Well, I'll tell you, I ain't eating that much. Strength train consistently. Don't just do cardio. Well, if you watched me yesterday, you know I do some cardio, warm up. Then I also do resistance training. Avoid extreme calorie cuts. Go for a moderate deficit. I eat one meal a day. And last night, after the meal, I had some popcorn. Hot air popcorn with drizzling olive oil and some salt. That's it. Get quality sleep to support recovery. Well, I'll talk about that too. Losing muscle slows your metabolism and makes fat loss harder. Yeah? Because when you activate hypertrophy in the body, you're basically you're sending your body the signal that says, I need to repair this muscle. And in order to repair the muscle, it needs to use energy. And where does that energy come from? Well, if you're in a caloric deficit, well, then it comes from fat storages, right? So that would affect your body fat percentage. Now, depending on what's stored in fat will dictate how well that's done, that process. Get quality sleep for support recovery. Oh yeah, okay, sorry, I read that twice. And losing muscle slows your metabolism and makes fat loss harder. Okay, yes, that's what I read. Protect your gains by fueling smart and training smart. Yeah, there is such a thing as finding what balance is good for you as an individual, because your caloric requirements might be different than mine. Because if you're bigger than I am, well, then you're gonna need more calories. It's simple math, basically. So if you're a short person, you're not going to have a big frame. You're not going to have big muscle. So does this 1.8 to 2.2 grams per kilogram apply? Well, you need to figure that out for yourself, I would say. Burn fat, keep muscle, build the body you want. So basically, well, yeah, I think there's some truths to that. There's a lot of truths, because in episodes earlier this week, I talked about when you do resistance training, meaning lifting with weights, not just cardio, you are resetting / regenerating about 78 genes in your body. And that's what helps you look younger, look stronger, look at shape, look potentially younger. Does it mean you have better skin? No. But it does have a piece of the puzzle when it comes to longevity. However, you have several thousand genes in your body, DNA genes. What about those? Will the exercise, the resistance exercise, affect those? It's not the trigger for it. And the perfect example I can give you is, look at this guy. This is just announced today, December 18th, 2025. Another fellow, Wang Kun, out from China, dies at 30. Like, you look at this guy and he is like perfect physique, but he's gone. What did he do? Well, obviously he's got the 78 genes, right? But did he get the balance of the other several thousand correct? Because he's no longer here. Now, the question is, did he get this? Maybe. It's hard to say. We don't know. You'd have to look at his records, if they're even available. So, did he miss out on resetting / regenerating the other several thousand genes in his body? Obviously. Because it's not the muscle that killed him. I don't think so. Something else did. So what was it? Is it poor blood quality? It's possible. right? And when I talk about blood quality, I improve mine with the cleanest, deuterium free, with a molecular bond angle of 114 degrees. And I call it the cleanest and most absorbable. Now, does this have an effect on my body? If you tuned in yesterday, you would see that I hit a maximum heart rate during the 9-minute warm-up of 213 beats per minute. And here I am, hello, smiling. I slept like a baby last night. Nothing happened. So, does the water that you fuel your body with have a direct influence on your longevity? 100%. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. Now, the quality of the water will dictate the quality of your blood and its ability to deliver oxygen to the body when it's under cardiovascular stress. As I showed you yesterday, I put it under cardiovascular stress. And I'm here walking around as if everything's normal. Because it is. Now, what else do I do? I've shared it before and I will share it again. It's called the X39. And I use this to reset and regenerate the other balance several thousand genes that are in the body. And I support it with the fuel source, which is the water that's needed. Now, when I talk about water, I'm not talking about minerals and everything in the water. I'm talking about two things: hydrogen and oxygen. Because it only gets into your body and used by your body one of two ways, which is either through this here, breathing and exhaling, or you consume it. Now your body's going to take whatever source you provide, whether there's oxygen and hydrogen in the plants that you eat or fruits. If you eat a strawberry, it's got a lot of water in it, right? But when you dehydrate the strawberry, where's the water go? Just disappears. So what's left? Just the minerals, the carbon, right? That's it. So when you fuel your body with the cleanest and most absorbable, what do you think happens? Mitochondria just go pow, they explode with power. And we all know that hydrogen is highly flammable. How flammable? How much of an effect does it have inside the body? That list that I read earlier here. Constant fatigue. If you have low energy, even with enough sleep. Does it look like I have low energy when I'm doing the cardio? Double unders and switching back and forth between basic bounce and double unders and pushing the heart rate over 200, and I was in that zone for over a minute. I should be flatlined and lying on the concrete instead of standing here talking to you the next day. But here I am. So what else am I doing in addition to the water, the cleanest and most absorbable, plus the X39, which is right here, to reset and regenerate genes? Well, I'll tell you, I make sure I get my pinch of salt every single morning. I like Redmond real salt. That's what I put on my popcorn last night. And this morning I had a pinch of gray sea salt. Just a pinch. So am I getting, like all all different minerals that are in the salt? You bet. What are some of those minerals? Well, one of them I know is sodium, sodium, that helps with digestion, breaking down the foods. And when you have a high metabolism, how often are you going in to the washroom? How much are you defecating? Once every 2 days or once a day? That's going to tell you if your metabolism is operating at an efficient level. Like, they're simple things. How many people talk about that? Probably a few. I haven't talked about defecating yet. It's actually, today's the first day. And are you regular? I am. No problem. Does drinking the water help with that? Yep, because it revs up the digestive system as well. Not only the blood and circulatory system, but everything else. Throw in the mix, the X39 to regenerate genes and organs and so forth. It's good health. It's not complicated, but it's simple. Can the X39 fit into your lifestyle? If you can afford it. If you can afford a coffee a day, which is here. Patch is about a coffee a day. You can switch, if you can sacrifice a coffee and try these, then you'll see. Yesterday I shared a testimonial where there was a man had an ATV accident and he suffered a spinal compression and had to have surgery, and he had this pain, constant pain in his neck for 4 years. Puts on an X39 patch on his neck where he had the surgery and the plates installed, and he was immediately immediately had gratitude, grateful that something like this could affect his bioenergy, his electricity in the body, and give him some kind of relief that he thought he never could have. Can it work for you? You only know if you try. To learn more about the X39, you can visit unlockourbioenergy.godaddysites.com. That's the QR code that's right here. It automatically updates so when I switch this between screens here. Click here. It'll take you to a website called Start X39. It's got all the scientific information. I do not own it, but I am part of a team that does. And some good information there, in addition to what I have already shared. If you want to make an order, click here, and it'll take you to this web page where you can see all the options, phototherapy options that exist. This is the X39 itself, the X49, the Alavita, and so forth. The glutathione, the carnosine, the Aeon, the Interspark, the Ice Wave, Silent Nights, and the AccuLife is for animals. Now, I predominantly use the X39. However, if you want to accelerate your fat loss, well then, you might want to consider the Interspark. Drug-free, chemical-free. It's the original phototherapy patch that David, right here at the bottom, is the one who invented it. He owns the patents. So basically what it does is it helps metabolize fat storages, beta oxidation to increase energy, and can be used in combination with the X39. So if you want to regenerate those 1,000 DNA genes, think about the X39 and the X and the inner spark. That will help you. Now, if you have access to the water, that's going to accelerate the process, because when blood is 94% water, and even David himself acknowledged the importance about blood. If you're watching, David, thank you. And I'm supporting it. And I'm proving it to you. That it affects me in special ways, if you want to call it that. Because at 49 years old, should I have a heart rate that goes over 200? The answer is no. No. But somehow it's happening. And I attribute that to drinking the water, because I have been tracking my heart rate for many years. Many years. I even had the chest strap heart rate monitor. And I didn't like it, because when I was on the rowing machine, I hit the chest with the paddle, you know, the handle. I always unclip. Drove me nuts. I'm like, So that's why I use the Scotia Rhythm Plus, which is designed by Valencell. Those guys are the original sensor design. They own the patents. And this thing reads well, much like any chest strap. So if anybody out there questions, oh, this doesn't read right, I encourage you to do a little bit of research. You'll find that this is very good. On the same level as chest straps. So there's nothing you can say to me, because I already validated myself against the chest strap, and it works. So when my heart rate goes up above 200, it goes up above 200 because I can feel it. And I remember the very first time when it did. I still remember. And I will never forget what it felt like. But it only happened after 6 months of drinking the cleanest and most absorbable water, which is deuterium-free, 114 molecular bond angled water. And when it happened, I realized, okay, this thing is legit. This water is legitimate, 100%. And there's nothing anybody can say to me that it does not do what it does to the body, because I continue to demonstrate it. We'll see if it happens again today where I hit over 200. I'm going to try. My maximum all-time heart rate is measured with this sensor is 217. I hit 213 yesterday. So, can I go up more? I don't know. Maybe 217 is my highest max. I don't know. But maybe there's more. And I'm not afraid to try it. So, if I flatline here, you're going to see it. Am I ballsy? No. I'm just me. And I encourage you to scan that QR code. Try it. Because I'm telling you, something's changing. Because I keep being able to do it. This is two days in a row, 200 plus. And I'll try it again today. So today's workout is going to be here's the record if you want to see it. See? There's 213. Right? yeah, now it's slow. So there's 200. I was in the zone for 1 minute and 9 seconds yesterday. Day before, let's see, only 40 seconds. And 50 seconds in this heart rate zone. So a little bit longer. So 1 minute and 20. But it all depends on how I feel, what I eat the day before. So I had some popcorn last night. So we'll see how it affects me today. And I'm disclosing that to you. And of course I need to turn the heart rate monitor on. You can see the light. Hopefully. So you know it's this one that's doing the recording. Tempo I'm going to set at 68 on the metronome. So that's equivalent to 136. And let's begin. So 89 on the heart rate. Should be 85, 84. Okay, so I think the calibration of this app here just kind of +1 or something. I don't know. It reads a little bit higher. I don't know why. But no big deal. I always default to the actual app that's designed for tracking the heart rate. And so 9-minute warm up. All right. I don't feel the water bouncing in my stomach. Oh my goodness. I was trying to do a crisscross double under or something. sometimes the simplest movements are the hardest. Especially when you add tempo. Oh my goodness. Alright, so at the 2.5 minute mark, that's where I'm going to increase the tempo. So starting in 10 seconds. Alright, 2, 1, 1, 2. 1, 2. reducing it to 60 beats per minute. All right. Okay. Just kind of gauging how far I need to be from the wall. For the first exercise, it's going to target the rear deltoids. Okay, that's good. Yeah, something like that. All right. Just going to grab a little bit more water here. All right. Come on. There's my... So, first exercise is going to be face pull with adding a rotation part. I'm going to crisscross the bands. So, the right side goes to the left elbow and the left elbow goes to the right, or the right elbow goes to the left side. Then I've got a second band here that's anchored at a higher point. So, by sitting down, I have, there we go. Adding the rotation to the movement. I'm going to try to hold on to this tension. Last week I hit fatigue pretty early. So this time I'm going to try to keep working the muscle. Pretty sure Jeff would like this. So here I have tension right at the start. Now all the way through. Wow. Oh yeah. This is a stellar exercise for the rear deltoid. Wow. Oh. away because I don't need them anymore. Don't need it. Next up is medial deltoid. So this time I've got just the single red band. What I'm going to do, step on it this way, so that way the ball of my foot, not the heel, stays on it and holds the anchor in place. And now I'm just going to kind of here even it out. Okay, and there we go, that looks good. Attach it to the elbows because I want the tension to be at the start. So I can feel it right here. 3 minutes. Now, there we go. To increase the tension, you can put it here on the hands. Now I'm feeling the string inside the band. There we go. Okay. Not only does this get the medial deltoid, the medial is pulling on the trap, and I can feel its activation. Wow. Wow. I'm going to switch to the elbow here. See. It's a little bit less. Feels different. But I can hang a little longer at the high end. Up here, hold it longer. The muscle is fatigued. Alright, now I'm going to switch to just the balance of this guy. That's it. Wow. Alright. Next is I'm going to be doing a front deltoid lift. So I'm going to switch to the bands that are on here just to give that one a break. And then I have these anchor, the door anchor is ready in my hand. Easy peasy. Quick change over. Not wasting too much time. Put the anchor on. There we go. So now I'm going to step on the bands in much the same way I did the last time. So just putting it on my underneath the ball of the foot. Alright. And then I'm starting here, and we're gonna, oh, I just realized I can add this one here as part of the movement. So that's what I'm gonna do. Just remembered that from last week. So by putting the band, the green one that I used for the rear deltoid, now I'm going to add the tension to the front. So kind of mimicking the setup I had for the rear deltoids. Okay, like that. There we go. So, 3 minutes. Let's go. Just going to do it this way. Holding it here at the bottom so that way the rear deltoid gets activation right here at the bottom of the rep. So it's kind of pushing away, almost like a push-up, but not. Oh. Slow negative. Hold it, slice it. Wow. Oh my. Wow. That torches the front deltoids. Oh yeah. Alright, next is twisting rotators, as I would call it. Largely because reps at the end. So for this one here, I'm going to use the green band that's attached. I'm going to turn the vibration plate here, and throughout this movement I'm actually going to twist the body so that way I have tension at the very start of the rep. I'm going to add the cool noodle here, so here, and I have tension here by turning my back towards the wall. So I'm going to start with the right side, 3 minutes. So here, I'm going to hold and bring it forward, hold it here, now twist the other way and hold more rotating, like external rotation. So trying to get the full tension on. So I'm holding the, oh wow, already fatigued. I'm trying to hold it isometrically, at least to have my hand pointing in the same direction towards, say, my hot water tank. Oh wow, wow. This really gets all the fibers. Wow, this is only 10 pounds worth of resistance and it feels like it's much more. Wow. Okay, start here. Move it through the range of motion. Now entirely. Oh my. It's done. Rotator is done. I can't, especially here, at this time, at this moment, at this position. Yep. I only have so much. Tells me I need to strengthen the muscle here. Keep doing this to build the strength in this part of the movement, the range of motion. Wow. Certainly, the burn is incredible for 3 minutes. Alright, switching to the left now. So here I am twisting. So I have tension right against my torso. My left hand, my left side, left rotator is stronger than my right. And I'm right-handed, believe it or not. fatigue now. Wow. Oh my. Wow. It's done. Wow. Okay. Last but not least is traps. So I'm going to be taking a orange band for this particular exercise. And what I will do is add the anchor to this for this one. Last week I just stepped on it, but because I'm using the ankle straps for just to help my hands deal with the discomfort, I did it this way. Come on. Yeah. Just have a little bit higher so I can make this nice and kind of even. And by, yeah, that seems about right. So I'm going to put my hands in this way. And here I have the tension. So this is mimicking a farmer's carry. Working the traps. Now pulling at the bottom, I can still feel the tension from the band. You can use regular weights if you wish, but then, you know, depending on how heavy you are, this vibration plate has a maximum weight restriction, which is 120 kilos, I think. So 300 and some pounds, 350. So I have room to, because I'm not only half that weight. All right. shrugging them up. Alright, I'll do explosive now. Alright. So this exercise would help with a deadlift because it's that holding that, you know. If you're interested in strengthening your deadlift, traps will help with that. You can hold on to more. Alright, so finished under 45 minutes. So here you can see. Look at the, I'm not looking at the maximum heart rate, I haven't looked yet. So today's date, December 18th, 2025. Starting time was at 2:15 Mountain Standard Time. Alright, I didn't hit into the seriously sprinting zone, but I was in the hard for 1 minute and 33 seconds. So that's the range of 185 to 206. And maximum heart rate I hit today was 205. So yesterday 213, 212 the day before, 213 yesterday, 205 today. And let's have a look at to see how. So I had a bit of a recovery here before it went up. That's interesting. And then I pushed, I had a little bit of a recovery. Pushed again, a little bit of a recovery. So my breathing rate starts increasing, obviously. But still able to keep the tempo and the pace up there above 200. So it's quite a long time. 1 minute and 33 seconds to be having a heart rate that high. So am I as real as a heart attack? I would think so. And when I say the X39 is real and how it resets the genes and helps with recovery and performance, it does. Add the deuterium-free 114 degree molecular bond angle water, and you have a fuel source that not only powers the circulatory system, but also the mitochondria and the genes. And here we go, 3 days in a row, over 200. So could the popcorn that I ate that last night helped with providing a little bit of energy? Yeah, I think it did something. And you know, what you eat does affect your performance as well. So sometimes maybe figuring out what foods work best for you will help with your athletic performance if you're competing in some sort of event. Let's say if it's sprinting, for example. If you're a sprinter, well then you got to be thinking about not only strengthening your body, but also how do you power it so that way you can run faster, longer, or run at your peak longer. And if this doesn't tell you anything, then I don't know. So I wish you the luck if whatever goal you're trying to reach, because when you make the right choices, you'll reap the benefits. One of those choices is right here. Scan that QR code. It'll take you to the place where you can place your order for X39. And I would appreciate your support. If you do decide to make a purchase, please support me. It helps me keep doing this to show you that what's possible, and also to maintain not only muscle mass but lose the body fat permanently. Can you do it? If I can, possibly you can as well. And if you have a lot of excessive weight, which I know there's people that do have this problem, I even had that problem too. Can you offset that? Yes, you could try the Spark to help with oxidation, which you can find. You can find the details at Unlock Your Bioenergy. You see the Spark right there. And if you have a problem with inflammation, then the Aeon is your friend. And if you have chronic pain, the Ice Wave, superb. No drugs, no chemicals, nothing enters the body. Only the light that's reflected from you is reflected back in. And I'll tell you, it works. So that's it for today. I'm Gordon with Unlock Your Bioenergy. See you tomorrow for Feel It Friday. It's going to be playing with cards. Can you keep up with me? I might increase the tempo with the skipping part of it, so to make it harder. But we'll see. I'll make that decision on how I feel tomorrow. Right? Have a good night. Rest up. We'll see you then.